Good morning, Mrs. Mix.
Well, here we are at Hampton Court Palace, which has been our vacation home away from home for the last 13 or 14 years. It's a pretty special place to come back to every year. This tree has become Alan's favorite tree in the entire world. I think we probably have 600 or 800 pictures of this tree.
Yay, tree!
Anyway, this is a very special and unique experience to be able to stay here. We love doing it every year. And you can probably see why. Coming home from the pub after a pint and walking down the long driveway and into this palace is something that I feel it's a real privilege to be able to do. Okay, so this is the little passageway we usually take to get to the apartment where we usually stay, which is called Fish Court.
And there's a lot of renovating going on outside here. Whoops, and some trash. This is Fish Court.
So, this is where we have spent our vacations for the last 13 years, and it was taken this time, so we ended up going someplace else within the palace, into a larger house, but the Georgian house. But this, so we've chosen the time when everyone's coming to work to film this, but before they let the public in for the day. But anyway, this is our normal front door, and we miss it, but we're having a good time in the Georgian house. The reason I'm glad we didn't take it this time is because at the other end we've got
which used to be the Tudor kitchens. It still is the Tudor kitchens, but there's a lot of renovating going on. So shall we go through to Master Carpenter Court?
You can't.
Yes, you can. It's still open.
No, but you can't get out into Master Carpenter Court. I know that.
Yes, you can. And this is Master Carpenter Court, where also there's some renovating going on.
Actually, down over there is Master Carpenter.
Yes, and nobody's trash has been picked up yet. Do you want to go down here?
Yeah, just. Are you filming the walking, or are you?
Yes, yes. Well, that gives you an idea of what the place looks like and the layout.
Okay, so this is Master Carpenter Court, and the windows up here under the first chimney are the kitchen windows of Fish Court, where we usually stay.
It's
so
Fish
this
Court.
is the view out of the back side of the flat.
Very good, madam. This is also something that we never had to see at before.
But they're having some major repairs done to the roof.
Yeah, they're removing and replacing a lot of roof sections. Turns out they're finding.
Now this is North Cloisters.
You want to go out there or down here?
Part of the palace to walk through at night. And you can pretty much imagine yourself back in Tudor times here. These are the back stairs up to the Great Hall. This is where the food would have been taken up into the Great Hall from the kitchens, which are behind us. Great kitchen.
This is.
We're going to go into the Tudor kitchens now, which
is where all the food was made in Henry's time. There's not even a fire here yet, but there will be shortly.
So, lots of cooking going on here.
Yummy. Want to go back in this part too? Pretty massive structure. Wonderful paving tiles. Big fireplaces with spits. And more scaffolding outside. And the big main fire that had many spits. So they could be turning lots and lots of meat at the same time. Which was on those spits. And with probably cranked by hand, I know. I think some of them had a weighted system where they were cranked by weights and they had to rewind it like a clock, but most of that was cranked by hand.
Base court, fountain court.
Okay.
This is the first courtyard of the palace where you would come through the main gates. This is called base court.
Base court.
And it used to be, when we first started coming here, it was all grass, which I thought was very pretty, but they, I guess it was about 3 years ago, decided to recobble it, which it would have been in Tudor times. And I've sort of gotten used to it, but I think I personally preferred the grass. Over here is the wine fountain, which
I think the gardeners probably prefer it this way.
Maybe. Over here is the wine fountain, which is
actually authentic.
Yeah, it was. You can actually see it if you look up a painting called "The Field of Cloth of Gold." This fountain is in, or the original of this fountain is in that painting.
And we don't think it fits at all, do we? There's a gentleman quaffing some wine, I believe.
Fairly new. They go through into what's known as Anne Boleyn's Gateway and into the second courtyard and off to the side are the main steps up to the Great Hall.
Yeah, these are new. These weren't here before.
Except an original set was probably there at one time.
Yeah, and this is Anne Boleyn's Archway.
Anne Boleyn's Gateway. Look up here. You can see an H and an A, which are Henrietta Anne's arms, which was one of the badges that they neglected to remove once she'd been beheaded. They forgot a few.
Upside down, but it's there.
It steps up into the Great Hall, which we'll go into later. It's not open yet. They don't open till 10.
And this
is Clock Court. Over here is the side of the Great Hall. And the rooms on the top floor were Catherine of Aragon's rooms originally.
And this has some beautiful paving too. And this is a wren section, is it not?
No.
The columns?
Oh, the columns, I don't know what they are. It's Tudor up until the
right.
windows over here that are.
So that probably is Tudor then, huh?
I don't think it's Tudor, but I think it might have been added as part of the wren section. I really don't know about that. But the rooms behind it are still Tudor, and the rooms to this side are the Tudor rooms, and then the wren section, see where the windows are there. That's where the wren section starts.
Yeah,
and the
those are wren, yeah.
The chimneys are square instead of the...
Right, instead of...
And the reason they call it Clock Court is the astronomical clock.
Very cool clock. It showed the tides on the Thames too, didn't it? It showed the best times to travel by boat to London.
And as you can see, one of the reasons we like to stay here is because we get this access that before it's crowded with people coming to see the palace during the day, we get to wander around these courtyards just by ourselves.
as well as the people going to work for the day.
Over here, we're about to pass through this little archway, and to the left up here, well, actually, excuse me, before we open the door first. To the left here is what is known as the Silver Stick Staircase, and this is where Jane Seymour's ghost has been seen several times floating down the stairs with a candle. The story goes that after she gave birth to Edward, and she was so sick, she was delirious and came running in her night clothes down this staircase with a lit candle. And so a lot of people have seen that ghost.
Cool.
I have it. And in here, this is the Queen's staircase.
This is one of my favorite spots.
Reese, our grandson, really liked this room because it's so echoey.
And he was running around stomping in his boots.
We do have access to this area at night when the palace is closed, so we come here and compose our fake ghost photos.
Right there.
Right up these stairs. And at the top of these stairs, if you turn left, that leads down through the old Tudor section of the palace to the haunted gallery, which is the gallery that runs past the chapel. Okay, so this door leads to the haunted gallery into the Tudor section of the palace. And originally, more of the Tudor rooms, in fact, I think the king's private apartments would have been in this area here. But this is where they started tearing down the Tudor palace, and Wren took over and built the newer section, the Georgian section. And
it's kind of a good view.
so the doors over here would originally have been leading to Henry VIII's private apartments. And the room here to the left is now the Queen's Great Watching Chamber, the Queen's Guard Chamber. And that's where Holly had a ghost encounter a few years ago.
Always working.
So this is Hampton Court, and it's the main part of the section built by Christopher Wren, which was built for William and Mary of Orange. And it replaced the Tudor section of the palace at this end. They just tore it all down to make room for this. And our plans were to tear it all down and do the whole palace this way, and I'm really, really pleased they ran out of money and didn't do it, because to me, the Tudor section is the most beautiful part of the palace. Here we have the lower level, well, above us is the haunted gallery, which runs by the upper level of the chapel. But the chapel main floor is down here. And this is a really great place to walk at night when you're staying here. Lots of spooks around.
Yes, it's very spooky here at night. Not so much for Diane, but for some of us. Less courageous individuals.
And out here we have Chapel Court, which has a recreated Tudor garden. And the rooms on the far wall over here were Edward's rooms as a child. And this Tudor garden was not here when we first started coming here years ago,
But apparently it is authentic, right?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I know they said that the original Privy Garden had the green and white striped railings separating all the beds, and I think that's what they were trying to recreate.
Cool.
Now we're back again at the North Cloisters, which is very, very Tudor. I don't know how else to put that, but these courtyards is such a privilege to be able to walk around them at night. Oh, and out here we have, I can't remember what this was called. Round kitchen court or something?
Round kitchen. Yeah, it's been sort of blocked off because they're obviously working back there.
And here is the window, the outside of the window from the Great Watching Tower, which we'll go into later.
Nice old bricks.
Here we have the Tudor wine cellar. Sort of speaks for itself. Giant barrels of wine.
And ales.